Your job is not your job. What I mean is that the way you normally define your job is probably not the way your real job actually works. And I'm going to prove this to you on 2 counts. So 2 times in the next 5 minutes, if we're successful, you will change the definition of your job, and each time for the better, each time allowing you to perform your real job much better. That's how consciousness works. When you become more conscious of the truth, you're more able to do what you want to do more effectively and with more integrity. So imagine that you meet a new acquaintance and they ask you, what's your job? How would you answer the question? Just take a second to think of your answer. How would normally you describe what you do? And that's your mistake. That the way you describe your job is what you do. But your job is not what you do. Your job is the goal you pursue. Let's think about this for a second. I used to think of myself as a teacher. I taught. So what's my job? If I'm a teacher, my job is to teach. But then one day I started thinking, that's not true. I'm not here to teach. How do I know if I'm successful or not? Well, it's not about me. It's not what I do. My success depends on what happens to the students. My success is not dependent upon my behavior, but it's dependent upon the outcome that I produce in someone else outside of myself. So I started to think, well, my job is not to teach. My job is to actually help the students learn. So I stopped teaching. I started helping my students learn, and paradoxically, I became a much better teacher. Because when you realize what your real job is, and when you realize that you're pursuing a goal beyond any activity that you're performing, you're able to behave in a way that's targeting the goal as opposed to focusing only on the behavior. And that will always make you more effective at what you're really trying to accomplish. Perhaps not so effective at what you do because you would do different things, but certainly much more effective in accomplishing the goal that's animating the activity and giving it a meaning and a purpose. So think of your job again. What is it that you are pursuing? What is the goal that animates your activity? And see if that changes the definition that you thought about 2 minutes ago. And now for the second count. We're in the middle of the World Cup. I'm Argentinian, so I have to use soccer as an example. When people think of the goal they pursue, they tend to make a very critical mistake. And it's the mistake a soccer player would make if someone asks him, what's your job? Imagine you're a defensive player, and I ask you, what's your job? Well, to defend, of course. But we know that that's not true. It's not what you do, it's the goal you pursue. So what's your goal as a defensive player? Most people, and I imagine you, would answer, well, to stop the other team from scoring. That's obviously the goal of the defense. But that is not true. Because in order to win, every player has to subordinate to the team. In order to win, every player must subordinate their individual goal to the goal of the team. How does this work? Well, if you're a defensive player, it's true that you're trying to stop the other team from scoring, but why? What's the ultimate point? Well, the ultimate point, if you're in the defense, is the same ultimate point that if you're in the offense, to win the game. How do you win the game? By scoring more goals than the opponent. But scoring more goals than the opponent can imply that you have to help the offense score a goal, more importantly than trying to stay back, and stop the other team from scoring. So your job is the goal you pursue, but the goal you pursue is not your goal. In order to win, you have to pursue the goal of the team. In soccer, this is easy. In soccer, the goal of the team is to win the game. But in business, things are a little more complicated. It's not so obvious to define what the goal of an organization is. Most generally, we can say that the goal of an organization, whether it be for profit or not for profit, is to accomplish its mission with effectiveness and integrity. That's the ultimate purpose of any group of people coming together to form an organization. They have a mission, they have a purpose, and they want to accomplish that mission with integrity and effectiveness. So the job of every soccer player is to help the team win. Every individual soccer player must contribute to the winning of the team. The job of every employee of an organization is to help the company achieve its mission with integrity and effectiveness. So what was your job again?